For me, the last few years have been quite a roller coaster. I moved here with my family just over a decade ago and started working as a civilian for the Defense Department. I taught counterterrorism and irregular warfare to our military and to our allies and partners. But then, well, as is the case if you live near the swamp, I got more and more interested in politics. And eventually I met a man called Mike Flynn. General Flynn, a great American, a patriot with decades of service in the military intelligence community, ending up as director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. That friendship and that working collaboration, I was eventually on the transition team for a candidate Trump, resulted in me ending up in the White House for President Trump. Here I am, my first day entering the West Wing as Deputy Assistant to the President for Strategy with a pretty cool parking spot. I got up early the day after the inauguration and they gave me parking placard number 6. That's me with my Mustang in the first slot outside the West Wing. And it was a dream come true. It was truly incredible to be a person who'd only become an American citizen a few years previously to end up in the Oval Office for the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. Here I am with my radio show producer, Jeff, visiting the president after I'd left the administration and set up my national radio show, America First. But what did I learn inside the White House? I arrived as a person who'd been studying, teaching, analyzing grand strategy for decades, and especially with a focus on counterterrorism, on threats such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. In fact, I'd briefed thousands of individuals from the US military on the threat of jihadism, of groups like ISIS, members of the law enforcement community and the intelligence community. I tried to explain to them what it is they believe, what it is that their ideology demands of them, the hostages they take, that they put in those orange jumpsuits, the people who they beheaded live on camera to send a chilling message to their enemies in the Judeo-Christian world. I thought I'd be dealing with that policy in the White House or having to deal with Russia. Russia, which of course had invaded one of its neighbors, the Ukraine, broken a decades-old taboo in place since World War II that you just don't expand your territory through military force. How do we deal with a resurgent Russia? And how do we deal with another jihadist ideology, not a non-state actor, but in this case, the Persian nation of Iran, the Islamic State of Iran, that every Friday preaches death to America and is building a nuclear capability, thanks in part to the absurd JCPOA Iran deal that, by the way, Obama didn't stop the nuclear bomb acquisition of Iran, and they just used the $140 billion they got from you to make sure that they could maintain their state sponsorship of terrorism and build those missiles and advance that nuclear capability. So this is the panoply of threats that we dealt with in the White House, in the National Security Council, and in the Strategic Initiative Group where I served. But that time in the White House, it was a Damascene experience for me. After a few months with the clearances, reading the top secret intelligence, I realized something. Threats like ISIS, global jihadism, Iran, Russia, even North Korea, not really a big deal. We can deal with them. We can put North Korea back in its box. We can deal with that former KGB colonel in the Kremlin. We can crush ISIS. The president did. He unleashed our military, unleashed the special forces, and a threat that Obama had told us is a generational threat. You're just going to have to live with it. Remember, first it was a JV team, and then when it became serious, he said, you're just going to have to live with it. Well, we crushed it. Donald Trump got rid of the lawyers, unleashed Bragg, unleashed JSOC, and within 5 months of declaring war, on the ISIS caliphate, it was gone. It was a memory. It was dust. It was rubble. But amongst the rest of our adversaries, amongst the enemies that we face as the greatest nation on God's earth, I came to realize that there's only one strategic level threat, one truly existential threat, and it is communist China. A communist China that the current president, yes, I know it's weird to say that, Joe Robinette Biden, when he was running for the candidacy of the Democrat nominee for president, had this to say about communist China.
I've met virtually every major world leader in my role as vice president and as foreign relations chairman over the last 30 years. And that's not hyperbole. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not competition for us.
Interesting. Just remember that soundbite. Just file that away. They're going to eat our lunch? Come on. They're not a competition, the greatest communist dictatorship in the world. He just wrote them off. Maybe because of some interesting deals that his son, Hunter Biden, had with communist China when Joe Biden was vice president. Anyway, since he's become the commander-in-chief, sleepy, creepy Biden, a man who clearly is not mentally or physically fit to be commander-in-chief, rapidly changed his tune. Remember what you just heard from the campaign? This is what he had to say about China after he moved in to the People's White House.
Last night, I was on the phone for 2 straight hours with Xi Jinping. And you all know as well as I do, these folks, and it was a good conversation. I know him well. We spent a lot of time together over the years I was vice president. And, you know, if we don't get moving, they're gonna eat our lunch.
Oh, so now that you're president, they're going to eat our lunch? Is it because you're president? Well, that's what we're going to analyze today with our dedicated special on the only real strategic threat we face, which is China. China, which, whether you like it or not, is at war with us now. China, which lied about the coronavirus. China that is intimidating with its navy, with its fighter planes, its long-range strategic bombers, our friends and our neighbors in the Asia-Pacific region. A China that seeded the world with its deadliest export, the Chinese Wuhan virus, when it knew how deadly it was, and let its citizens travel the world. A virus that has killed millions, put tens of millions in America on the unemployment rolls, and a virus which my old boss, Donald Trump, dealt with in a remarkable fashion. Not only 3 vaccines developed under his tenure as president, but a man who almost immediately created a travel ban on those coming from China to keep you safe. A travel ban which Joe Biden thought was racist.
Coronavirus emanated from China. A national emergency, worldwide alerts. The American people need to have a president who they can trust what he says about it, that he is going to act rationally about it. In moments like this is where the credibility of the president is most needed, as he explains what we should and should not do. This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysteria, xenophobia.
Xenophobia? Protecting Americans is racist xenophobia? While Nancy Pelosi is inviting people to come and party in Chinatown?
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.